Well, as long as they wash. Come on. Let's do it, kids. Welcome to the Time Spent Poorly program, where we get together on a weekly basis and talk about shit and different kinds of shit. We've got your host, all the shit. He was recently voted #1 podcast host by Podcast Periodically, Edwardo.
Thank you.
And our guest tonight, he was selected most interesting guest of 2018 by LCV Podcast Reviewer. We've got Hudds.
Hello. How are you?
There's me. I was voted most eligible, unshaven, non-bachelor, under 175 pounds. The beard. Yeah, how about that?
That's very specific.
That's how I got to be #1 in my category.
There's only 4 of you, and you're the only one that doesn't look like the back end of a rhinoceros.
Well, you know, after 175 pounds, it gets a little scary.
Does it?
Yeah.
I know. I've been up there.
A lot of unshaven 175 plus people who are very eligible.
I almost
they
introduced once. Up to the 2. And that wasn't when I was in good shape either.
So what are we talking about tonight, Ward?
Well, I've got a few things that we can talk about after we kind of get into the mix a little bit. You're back.
Yeah, I know. Some people were afraid I wasn't coming back because I left.
Abruptly, yeah.
It was awesome.
That was so fun.
He did a brief turn as Scarface.
Going back and watching
Miami.
it, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was probably
when Derek grabbed my arm. Don't go.
No, don't go.
You told me to go.
Stay here.
As he said, "Fuck off."
Yeah, good riddance.
Yeah, good riddance. It was a good bet. I'm proud of it.
I wish he was here to talk about it too, because he was like, there was some genuine concern on his.
He called me 4 times before I got back to my house. And he left me 1 voicemail.
Am I wrong in assuming that he's judging a lip syncing contest right now?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. He
Oh.
is. Yeah, he's doing some work.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That's lip sync judging is a difficult and fun pastime.
I would vote for the least clothed, most attractive girl in a lip syncing contest because that really matters.
It does. That's matching up to the sync portion is much lower than the lip portion on the rating scale.
We're still talking about singing,
right?
Yes.
But if she's got a lip hanging out the side there, or
Little
she's
tease.
just wearing a thong, she wins.
Oh, so much toxic masculinity today. I mean, it's the beard and the flannel, and I wear an animal skin on my coat.
Oh yeah. You do have the.
Is that a genuine animal skin? Yeah, leather.
It is. We killed that.
I have a couple leather coats I've retired.
That one's lasted me a long time. I think I got that when I was 20, maybe 20.
20.
I was gonna say, I feel like you've worn that for quite a while.
A long time. My mom bought it for me at JCPenney. It was marked down, and I was like, man, that's a really expensive coat. My mom was like, well, you'll have it forever. I was like, okay. And I really have.
So
the only
far,
time I left
it has held true.
A girlfriend once upon a time threw up all over it, and I made her send it off to get cleaned.
Yeah.
And it was gone for months.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck she sent it, but it came back and it was really clean.
Are there any like Martinizing places still in the valley?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Used to be a few, but
I think maybe not even.
isn't there that Busy Bee one down on
They might be.
down on 21st? I think
And I'm
does
pretty
that.
sure it's still there.
Yeah.
Here comes the 40-year-old portion of our
Yeah.
show.
So if
Do
you
we
need to
still
get your
do dry
fine
cleaning?
clothes cleaned, you want to take it down to Edgar on Main Street.
They call him Fast Eddie, and it's more of a fake moniker. He
Yeah, 'cause he's
it
slow
takes
as shit.
forever. Slow Eddie would be better. Not to be confused with Eduardo.
Right,
Because
right.
We don't know what Nicole says about Eduardo.
Speedy quick.
Except he's... Wow.
It's too quick to
You
answer
went
that.
there. Yeah, I wasn't even on that. I was going to say you just do everything wrong.
I didn't want to
but-
go there. That was my joke, and I didn't want to make it. He made it about himself.
Yeah.
Goddamn 40-year-old Marys.
So Star Wars has this is one of the things I want to talk about. The Galaxy's Edge ride at Disneyland.
Oh, okay.
They're doing it like Hulu's got a campaign running right now, or they did a whole like 2-hour special. I didn't watch all of it,
Holy shit.
but talking about essentially the Star Wars land, the Galaxy's Edge deal. But one of the people that turned up in that was none other than Jay Leno.
Really?
Yeah,
he a
which
big
was odd to me.
I haven't seen Jay
Star
Leno
Wars
in
fan?
anything. Maybe he was in a commercial a couple of years ago.
Well, he had like some car show on CNN for a while,
Yeah.
or something to that effect. But it just seemed really odd to me that this was going to be where he was gonna like
Reappear?
make his re-entrance, because he's just kind of like there's like 3 or 4 different like guest narrators throughout the thing. I think Leno's one, Kaylee Kuko, and but Leno's never had any ties to ABC. It's almost like it's his way of saying fuck you to NBC. It's like 4 years, 5 years too late. I don't remember when he handed over Tonight Show
It's
to
been a
Fallon,
long
but it's been a
time.
while now.
Yeah.
That's none of those are people that I would choose as narrators. Like Leno has that lisp, and he's a really good comedian.
Well,
But
that's why I had a problem with it. Is I feel like his being picked or tapped for this particular thing was weird to me. It was because it's not something you never heard Leno talk about his love of Star Wars.
No,
Ever.
no, and
So-
old cars only sort of rhymes with Star Wars. So, like, how did they get? It's quite the jump.
Right. So I have a couple.
He's almost like a B-lister now.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing is like he's kind of run out of relevance
Yeah.
a little bit, and I know he's not hurting for money.
No,
Never.
he
So
never
why
was.
not just
Never.
stop working, or why not do something you want to do? It's not like
Some
it's
people
not like
just want to be out there, and Star Wars is a
seen.
big fucking deal.
right.
I don't know. It seems like Mark Hamill would have been
Yeah.
choice number 1, and he could have done all 4 different voices.
Yeah, Mark Hamill is my first choice for a lot of things.
Yeah, everything but like political opinions.
Yeah.
I wish he'd keep those to him fucking self.
So I have a couple timestamps here, so we'll kind of play this and we can
Sweet.
make fun of him.
I watched this the other day with my son.
Did you watch it?
No, the movie.
Oh, the movie.
Strikes Back.
Oh, sound. Whoa.
Here we go.
Wow. Leno.
Yeah, he's also
His
not looking
chin
so
looks
great.
like the Millennium Falcon.
You know that ship saved my life quite a few times. She's the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy.
Oh, Lando.
Fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. That is the perfect description of the Millennium Falcon. Wasn't always that way.
Ooh, denim
Chewbacca
shirt,
put a lot of
too.
work
His-
into this.
well, yeah, that was his
Rebuilding and
trademark.
modifying
That's
the
it.
engine.
Yeah, that's his trademark off stage.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Denim-
it used
denim
to be his
everything.
on stage
Yeah.
until he took over the Tonight Show. Like, he was always in a Canadian tuxedo. Like, always.
Of the YT-1300 to maximize its speed and agility. And it's legendary for the time it made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. Everybody in the galaxy wants to pilot this ship. And you are about to see
Did he say pilot
He's
this
barely
shit?
making the ship.
You
He's
see
barely
him
making
pilot
eye
this
contact,
ship.
and as soon as I pause, that's like his
Yeah.
best eye contact right there.
Well, it's obvious why he's doing this. He is so stoned.
But also, he's big into vehicles, so maybe that's why they picked him.
Maybe that's
that
where the
could be
tie-in
bit.
is. Right.
Yeah, and Kaylee Kuoku has tits. I think that's the big tie-in there.
See,
They're
in,
like,
a,
oh.
in a lip sync contest, she would win
Yeah.
with these people.
why.
Yeah, she would, Jay.
Oh yeah.
Falcon is
Okay.
Was that
so,
Yavin? I think that was Yavin. Could have been Bespin though. My Star Wars knowledge is flawed,
I just want Old Republic movies.
right?
I barely have any Star Wars knowledge.
Whoa!
Because no one's ever seen anything like that.
I'm now inside
That dude
the
looks like
Millennium
he
Falcon. From what I've learned,
chews
Chewbacca
butts.
brought the Falcon here for some supplies and repairs. In order to get them, he made a deal with Hondo and Naka. Chewie gets the supplies, Hondo gets the Falcon on loan for a smuggling run.
Hondo.
We see this kind of deal all the time
Awesome.
in L.A. Let's find out what this mission is all about.
Hondo and Naka.
He's a fucking pirate.
So Leno almost plays like one of those animatronic wax guys.
Yeah.
Inside like he kind of looks like an animatronic wax guy.
Yeah, he looks like he should have been playing space chess with Chewie.
And Chewie should rip his fucking arms off.
Beat him to death.
Yes.
We'll beat you to death.
No, Hondo was one of my favorite characters in Clone Wars, the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
The Millennium Falcon's
Okay.
He's great. Because
This
all
is
the
super long.
yeah.
I mean, there's like I gave up before it even got very far into it, and I noticed like, okay, Leno's in this. Why?
Yeah.
But
It's got to be the vehicle aspect.
yeah.
Yay! Oh, yeah.
Star
Oh.
Tour is only on steroids.
Wow.
And it's just, it's a very interactive
When did Keith
experience.
Havens grow a beard?
I'm here with a co-pilot, 2 gunners, 2 engineers. We're about to head out on a mission.
No, you're not.
Normally, I work alone.
Why? She's supposed to be a red shirt, I'm sure. Oh, wrong Star thing.
Wars, not Trek. What do they call Star Wars fans? Is it? I mean, if it's Trekkers, then it must
Warriors?
be Warriors, right?
No.
Star Warriors.
Padawans.
No. Star Lords.
Star
Rebels.
Lord.
Rebel scum.
All right. Wish us good luck.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is in there too.
In my experience, the Empire did nothing wrong.
why we never want to fly together after we had an argument.
I wouldn't fly with you because you're high as fuck, Jay.
There we are. There we are.
I don't know. I've seen that movie a time
One
or
of my
two,
favorite
and
things
that's
to do when
not
I
what
was
they
hosting
use to
the Tonight
control
Show
it.
was send my Scottish mother out to the movies to review films, and
Oh, it's joke time.
then I'd read her reviews on the air. Now, the first movie I sent my mother to was Star Wars. This is my mother's actual review of Star Wars. I'm not changing a word. Lights are flashing here, lights are flashing there, things are going to zing by your face. Who would watch this?
Sounds like Alfred Hitchcock talking about it.
Yeah. So. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's not one that I would picture Leno popping up in.
At least Macaulay Culkin's got a job.
Right.
Little
Playing
drummer boy.
The drums. He's got a podcast now.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah. If I listen to
Who
podcasts, I
doesn't?
might tune in.
Who doesn't? Oh, Doogie Howser and
Yeah, he's one of the host
the lesser
guys on
half
it.
of Key and Peele.
The lesser half? Well, I mean,
That other dude is an amazing director,
It wasn't writer, yeah. Jordan
Jordan Peele.
Peele. And then Keegan-Michael Key.
Who's that dude on the right? He looks familiar.
He's been in some movies.
Portfolio creative.
Drop Trowbridge.
So, yeah. So Leno.
He's talking to Doogie.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching Harold and Kumar the other day, and that is probably the best example of someone playing themselves in a movie and just not giving a fuck. Because Neil Patrick Harris is gay. He's like a gay magician.
Right.
And he's playing like,
Yeah, he's total ladies man. It's basically that role's what got him How I Met Your Mother.
oh,
The
really?
Harold and Kumar one. Yeah.
Oh, and he was just playing
That opened his
that souped-up
kind of
version of
reopened his
himself.
door.
He's funny as shit. He's
He
a really
is.
good actor,
Yeah.
too. And he's wickedly talented.
Dr. Horrible sing-along blog.
I never did watch that. I always hear that it was great, but I never did watch it.
That's a Joss Whedon deal.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. That happened. That was born out of, I think, the writer's strike.
Oh,
And,
that makes sense.
Writer's strike ruined so many things.
I know.
Well, they went and did that because of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it did ruin tons of things.
Like Heroes.
Yeah.
Heroes.
I can't imagine
The middle of the
the
Shield.
writer's strike would have made it
Much
the
better.
lack of writer's
but
strike would have made it much better.
It got really bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Really, really bad.
Yeah.
Man, I was disappointed in that show's trajectory.
Yeah.
It was so good.
So
the first
promising.
season was very, very good.
It was tight. They knew what they were doing.
And then they just got lost and tried to make it keep going. And it was like, no, you need to end things if it's not good.
I mean, I had a friend of mine and I had talked about, this was back when I was into writing more and being creative, but we never really followed through or saw anything through. We just had ideas and would talk about them. But one of the ideas we had was kind of an idea similar to Amazon's The Boys, but it was basically a dysfunctional group of superhero people, but we had a slogan, and I actually made T-shirts called "Save the Monkey, Save the World."
It should have been
There's a whole
Spank
back,
the Monkey.
yeah.
Spank the monkey, save the world. That's the
That's
Beard
actually,
slogan.
That's a climate change slogan. You spank the monkey, don't breed.
Oh.
You save the world.
Clean out the pipes yourself.
Yeah.
Don't make more babies.
That is a good climate change slogan.
Well, I've already fucked that up. I got two little
Did you
rugrats.
copyright that yet?
Spank
Working on
the
it.
monkey.
Spank the monkey.
Spank the world. Or save the world.
Well, that brings us right on to our next, the next thing.
And we don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Is it superheroes?
Global
or global
water
warming?
withdrawal.
Yeah, so Netflix has this series called Explained. Have you watched any of that at all? So basically, it's a weekly thing that they churn out like episodes every week, and it's kind of this educational stuff. And sometimes it just deals with a wide variety of things. But this was really interesting, not in a like it changed my mind kind of way. It's more in a kind of like it pissed me off kind of way, because the way they present the science is flawed in some ways because of well, I'll just show you.
It's definitely skewed towards their
yeah, I mean
political aims.
Yeah.
Right. Here. Well,
but how can you find anything that's not skewed one way or the other? You can't find actual journalism anymore.
Right. That's the problem.
Just the facts. I want Joe Friday, the newsman. That could be a fucking TV show. Come on, somebody steal my ideas. I'm whipping them out here.
Well,
Whip it out and spank the monkey, save the world.
And the problem with most of it is that, you know, these people are always shouting about how Americans need to do this and Americans need to do that. And, like, really, India and China need to do that. And that will change the world.
But you can't do that because they're upcoming first world.
I want you to imagine.
No, they're coming too much, and so there's too many of them.
Did you see how they've got all those toilets in
Don't
India?
you see the danger?
Like 100 million toilets they came up with in a very short time to have an actual toilet in every house.
No.
I only read a headline about it, but holy cow, they put their minds to something, and so people aren't just shitting in the streets now.
Or straight in the Ganges.
With plastic waste, it everything that's in the ocean comes out of those rivers in Asia because they don't have laws like America does. They just dump shit in there and it goes away because that's what they've been doing for millennia.
And there are billions of people.
And those rivers are just disgusting. You couldn't.
I want you to
people
imagine
are grossed
waking
out
up one morning.
swimming in the snake. Like you'll fucking get something and die immediately if you swim in those rivers.
Oh yeah, that swims right up your peppy.
Consuming more water. This
Now that's
century,
Vietnam.
Water consumption has increased 7-fold.
Okay.
And the rain and snow that we count on to water crops and refill lakes and rivers is getting less reliable.
Climate change is making available water much more erratic. We're seeing areas around the world that
That's
are
not somebody I
experiencing
wanna
much
see
more
say
extended
erotic.
dry periods.
Look at her.
But the problem isn't just that there's more people on Earth using water. It's how we're using water. Humans need to drink almost a gallon of water per day. Brushing your teeth, washing your hands typically uses about a gallon.
1.7.
Flushing your
There
shitter.
goes 3 gallons.
Oh, come
But
on,
the
low
drink-
flow.
Yeah, no shit.
The
man.
average,
mine's
the average
1.7.
toilet, I think, is if you take all the old ones that are still out there and
yeah.
all those new ones that use like 0.9.
Is that 3 the average?
I think 3 is the average.
I remember the tanks used to be like 7 gallons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They
But
used to
before
be.
you hit play, you know what the number one irrigated crop in America is?
Soy.
Grass.
Oh,
I believe it.
Yeah, if we were to save fresh water, get rid of the lawn, Junior.
Yeah, watch. Well, this is what these statistics that they come in with are kind of like alarming, but at the same time annoying.
Lon Chaney Jr.?
Cooking, washing, and toilet
walking
flushing
with the
of every
Queen?
person on Earth only accounts for 8% of our freshwater use each year.
Oh.
Most of the water goes to agriculture and industry, and into the food
don't
and
say.
products we use.
Let's take a bottle of Coca-Cola. 98% of the water in that bottle is not what you see in that bottle. 98% of the water is actually embedded in all the ingredients that were ground to make that bottle of Coca-Cola.
74 liters of water goes into every glass of beer. A cup of coffee, 130 liters. Each of your cotton shirts, 2,500 liters. But nothing has as much embedded water as meat. Alfalfa is a common ingredient in cattle feed, and growing a kilogram of it takes 510 liters of water. An average cow consumes about 12 kilograms of feed a day. Divided up, just 1/4 pound hamburger takes around 1,650 liters of water to produce. The world is eating more and more like Americans, higher calorie diets with more meat. But everyone can't eat like Americans. There actually isn't enough water in the world. Water doesn't abide.
Yeah, so fuck everybody
yeah,
but America.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else. It's
You
our
can't eat
planet.
like us. Sorry.
No.
It's our planet. I'm sorry. I know that it sounds wrong, but if 90% of your people are starving or diseased, and for some reason the old women all have all the gold, like elderly Indian women have more gold than anybody else in the world. I think I read somewhere, because they get so much for their weddings. Like, there's just this huge cache of gold that all of these old ladies just have, and it's like, oh.
So you're saying once everything goes to shit and we're on the barter system, we need to invade India and take their gold?
Immediately.
Okay.
Immediately. I read something today about a storm on the sun that's going to kill us, and I just kind of crossed my fingers like, I hope so.
That's what I pray for every night before I go to bed. Pandemic.
I think that's what's going to get us in the end.
Tell me about the storm on the sun.
I didn't read the whole article, but apparently it's in the next couple of years we're going to die from some solar flare that's just going to spit out and lick all the way to Mars or something.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it? Because you wouldn't feel it. You'd just die.
You'd cease to be.
There would be 8 billion people and then 0 people, or maybe one dude in a cave somewhere, snorting fucking mushrooms and screaming.
We'd call him Y or something.
Yeah, the final man.
That would be something. I don't even think I'd survive pandemic. My family, me, no, we'd all die, but it's acceptable because as long as it wipes out 97, 98% of all people.
The Stand kind of thing. Yeah, I'm following.
Captain Trips.
Yeah. I'm way past homicide. Like, I'll never hit there. If I'm going to kill somebody, I'm going to kill like 7 billion people. That's like the floor.
So if you're gonna cause it to happen, you either have to know the secret government lab where they're manufacturing the superbugs, or you have to start a nuclear conflict with Russia and the United States, because then it's game over for everybody too. But everybody, because just the initial stuff and then nuclear winter finishes off the rest.
You have to be an American agent selling Russian secrets to the Chinese.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
And get them all going.
But make sure it's something that'll compromise everything that the Russians
stir
have.
that pot, yeah.
Yeah. And you sell it to the Chinese, and then, you'll have a good year. And the rest of the world will have a really, really shitty year.
And really, if those three superpowers got engaged in stuff, India and Pakistan would be like, wow, they're busy. We're going to throw down now.
We're going to fight each other.
There's some more nukes.
Over
so,
sweaters. Isn't that what the problem is?
Who makes the best
Cashmere?
sweater?
It's the Kashmir area. That's where India and Pakistan have their differences. Well, and then the Israelis and Palestine. Yeah. They're mad about sweaters from what I hear. No, it's a region. But it's like saying the Afghanis are mad about blankets. Like, oh no, we're mad about blankets and dogs. You ever seen one of those? The Afghan hound? They're horrible looking animals.
Afghan hounds?
Yeah, they're big shaggy things.
Oh, I'll have to look one up here.
If I'm thinking of the right animal. Now I have to wait until the picture comes up so I know if I'm right or wrong.
I can't wait.
Usually not wrong, though. That's one of the great things about me. Yep.
Oh,
big,
God.
shaggy,
Can you imagine
stupid-looking fucking animals.
taking care of that dog?
It looks like Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, it does.
I'm surprised that one of the top hits isn't
Sarah Jessica Parker.
She's not horse face, she's dog face.
Yeah.
God, that one even has her haircut.
She looks like an Afghan
and would
hound.
like to speak to your manager.
And I've seen some of those at dog shows and the brushing that's involved. That's a full-time fucking job if you have a dog like that. Wow.
This one looks like Julia
Actually
Roberts.
has a goddamn mane.
The one right below it on the left.
It's Owen Wilson.
I was just saying the same thing.
I'm sure we can find one that looks like Andy Dick. Come on.
There's the drummer for...
There's Andy Dick.
It is! I knew it! You just had to scroll a little ways.
Okay, I got to bookmark those for later.
There's your... Here's your thumbnail.
Yeah.
Your episodic thumbnail. The megacidal fucking Afghan hound. Angry about blankets and sweaters. Now, that's a new supervillain right
And
there.
fighting for fresh water.
That's who they're going to replace Thanos with, is the Afghan hound. What would his name be? Houndos? Houndos, the angry Afghan hound. And he's got... what's the next one? We've used up the Infinity Gauntlet. What's their next one? We can steal the Beyonder's power or something.
It'd be a biscuit of some kind, like a dog biscuit.
Oh, yeah, probably. The Galactic Dog Biscuit. The Power
Bone.
Yeah, the Power Bone.
Oh, man. Everybody Googles Power Bone and...
Do not
good
Google
luck.
Power Bone. Okay, Google. Our grandpa does that. He talks to his phone like that. Okay, Google.
Does he?
Yeah.
Talks
okay,
to his
Google.
house that way.
Because in his house, he's got a home one, too. And it's as bad as Alexa. It's just funny when my grandpa says it because I immediately go to the humor place in my brain when my grandpa's voice hits my ears because he's always told the worst jokes in the best possible way. He's just...
the worst jokes.
The worst jokes.
But here's a guy who grew up in the 40s, and now he's living in Star Trek.
Basically.
I mean, there's no teleporters, but really, teleporters are a long way off.
Are they? Are they really? We have fax machines. Come on, guys. We just got to figure a way to turn you into energy, move you over there, reconstitute.
I still think something is lost in the process.
I'm a firm believer that the transporter has killed everyone it has ever transported. It is not the same person that comes out of the transporter that goes in.
Have you seen The Prestige?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of David Bowie's best roles. Second only to probably The Princess Bride.
David Bowie was in Prestige, huh?
Yeah, he played Nikola Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
He made a human fax machine.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
I was going to say copy machine, but it faxes people.
Yeah. To their death. And then there's just piles of them. How could Hugh Jackman live with himself?
I don't know.
Well, it wasn't Hugh Jackman by that point. You don't know if he's a copy of a copy of a copy. She touched my peppy, Steve.
Okay. Let's say you have... Nice Multiplicity.
Great movie.
Multiplicity is fucking one of Michael Keaton's
It's
best movies.
It's a geniusly written movie.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah. Didn't Harold Ramis do it?
acted, yeah.
I know he directed it, but he didn't write it
I'm pretty
too?
sure he wrote it too.
He's... As much as I love Ghostbusters, like, he did that. He did Groundhog Day. I'm pretty sure he helped write Caddyshack. Like, what
and those
an
are movies who
amazing
were
dude.
great when they came out, and they're great to this day.
They hold up, yeah.
They held up so well. You can totally sit back and watch it, and it's as relevant today.
Yeah,
and
even
Alice
Ghostbusters 2 is a good watch.
Menstruating right now? What is that?
He's Vigo!
Peter McNichol.
Dude, he's fucking great. He's great in Veep.
He's great in
Amazing
everything.
fucking
He is on point in Veep.
I think that's a movie, Ghostbusters 2, that didn't get its due at the time.
Because
I think it was too soon.
It was before sequels were
such a huge thing, and now it's nothing but sequels. It's like, oh, we profited 300% sequel.
Yeah.
Even
and we'll
if the
throw
story,
more money at the sequel.
Yeah,
than
even if the story doesn't warrant a sequel. It was like, the main characters all died. No sequel! Sequel prequel!
We'll bring them back.
Yeah.
Turn them into girls.
I want the sequel to White Chicks. Come on.
Alex and I went to go see Ghostbusters, the remake, with the girls in the theater. And we're walking out, and he's just like, I just don't think that was as good as the other one. And I was like, it wasn't.
You're totally right, kid.
It was great that all of the guys showed up, but it was just
there
not
were
as
some
good.
funny parts in it.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even get myself to watch it. It just, there's the...
It doesn't have a lot of rewatchability. I mean, we watched it a couple times. I've got kids, so and they were more like for them because of the hype that was associated with it at the time. They were excited about seeing it. I went and saw it at the theater with Wyatt, and we came out having enjoyed it. And then we'd watch it again, and you kind of like you start to poke holes in it, and it starts to kind of lose its. And it is. I mean, it's It's more of a spectacle than anything.
And those are hard to watch more than once.
Yeah.
Like, the spectacle movies are just like, not as good the second time. And by the third time, you're like, I don't ever want to see this again.
And Melissa McCarthy plays the same character in every movie she's in.
I don't like her. They tried to push her as like a female Chris Farley, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig doesn't do much for me either.
No.
She's good in some stuff, though.
There's a few things when she, where she, did you watch Skeleton Twins?
No.
She and, that's more of a drama, but she and Bill Hader play twins.
Oh, wow.
Or twin siblings. And then it's kind of.
He's a hell of an
actor. It's a low budget comedy drama.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, because I like Bill Hader a lot. That guy's got some range.
Well, and some people need to stick to the low budget things. Like, you see that in a lot of movies. Somebody does this amazing work with a shoestring budget, and, you know, like they make these breakthroughs and they figure this stuff out, and they've got this wonderful movie, and then they throw all this money at them, and they make this absolute shiny golden turd. And you're like, why did you do that? Like, all of the...
Because they don't know what to do with that much money. They just are like, we could do this, but we have all this money, so let's do that.
Yeah, right. Let's pay this nerd with a computer to make this instead of doing it the way we did it last time.
Like the Jim Henson way.
Well, I think smaller budgets force better creativity and better stories ultimately.
Yeah, they do.
Because you have, I mean, Breaking Bad had a budget, but it also had limitations. And so they worked with, like, Gilligan worked within those limitations while making that movie, or while making the TV
some of
show.
his were himself imposed, though. Like, he was this is what we need to do. We're not going to
go out beyond.
We're not going to lose it.
Yeah.
And throw 8 more seasons at this, even though we could, and make money.
Well, and that's why TV is so much better than film anymore.
Yeah.
Well, they have so much more time for
film
character
needs a
development
renaissance.
And stuff. Yeah. And we might see it when, I mean, most of the directors are going towards streaming now, as opposed to the straight theatrical releases, because they can get stuff out there easier.
Yeah. I read an article about the Irishman, the one we watched the trailer for last week. I guess it's really good.
Is it?
I believe it.
I mean, it's Scorsese and his...
Yeah. My hang up on it was the
basically
de-aging,
his Rushmore.
The de-aging CGI stuff. It still looks good. It's sharp, but it also, you can tell they're doing it. Maybe it won't necessarily look as bad when you watch the movie.
Because there's little flaws missing, I think, is what the problem. Like, people look too perfect. Like, I was watching A New Hope last night. I turned it on to go to fall asleep, and then I went and looked at the fake Leia from Rogue One.
Yeah.
It really does look like her. But there's little human things missing, like wrinkles at the corners of the eye, like just little details that you pick up subconsciously, and they make you. I think they call it the Uncanny Valley. But like, once you hit that, like, it looks so human that it unsettles you, and you can't figure out why it is that you're unsettled. And it's because they're missing just little tiny things, like certain muscle twitches aren't there that are always there, but you don't notice them, and they leave that out because you don't notice them, and then you only notice that they're not there, and and so you get like
It's a subliminal thing.
Yeah,
Was
you
it
get like a deep primal fear.
In the Matrix? Was it the architect, the white-haired dude?
Yeah.
Well, he's talking about their first version. It was too perfect, and they lost the entire crop of people because we wouldn't believe it because it was too perfect.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as people say that the architect was just a lot of hot air, there's a lot of really good like thought there. As much as I don't agree with the Wachowskis,
the human battery thing is just a stupid idea. But
and it wasn't supposed to do that. The initial thing the studio shut down was that they were supposed to be processing, and they were using human brains as processing power, and that made so much more sense. And they're like, people won't understand that. Like,
what will they understand about dodge this and all that fucking shit too? It's like, why don't you just let them run with the story as is? Because the processing power is a great fucking idea.
Yeah,
and they could have one of those breakaway scenes where it's explaining the Matrix, and it's like, all of these human brains are a computer network. So they show this server room and then overlap it with all of these brains.
Yeah, see, what you're saying right now is more intriguing than the Matrix was. For me.
But that's, like you said, that's exactly what it was supposed to be, but they made them change it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's too high-minded, and people won't understand it. It's too technical.
And
really?
The whole
and the battery
Jesus
power?
Christ,
take a minute.
Around again?
Take a minute.
Copper top.
One, have a little faith in your audience.
Yeah.
Because especially now, people will dissect things all the way down.
Fuck, they've got dissection videos of NBC's The Office.
Yeah.
They like dissect the entire the plot of that show.
Yeah. Well, look at how this fits into this and that and this and it.
Why did they start making a documentary? And it was because of a suicide, or that's one of the.
Oh, is that one of the theories?
Yeah.
I made it through 3 episodes of it and I couldn't watch anymore.
The Office?
The Office?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's too bad.
I just couldn't do it.
It's a
really
great show.
Good.
I'm powering through Parks and Rec right now.
Yeah, I feel like that was a better show.
After the first season, when they find their own footing and they're not just we're trying to be
The Office. Yeah,
it does get amazing. But The Office is holy cow. When you get later in and there's just so much character development, there are a lot of scenes that still hit me right in the feels.
Oh yeah.
I agree that it would probably be that way, but there's so many other things to watch.
But dude, there aren't that many 22-minute programs, and my favorite kind of program anymore is a 22-minute fucking program because I can watch 3 and feel satisfied, whereas if I watch 2-hour programs, I feel like I've watched too much TV.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the day. Sometimes I can crush out 4-hour episodes, but that's situational.
And the content too.
Yeah. And I know I'm pushing up on 40 because I can't stay awake through a whole movie anymore. I started watching that new one on Netflix, something about the moon, with
In the Shadow of the Moon.
Yeah.
Michael C. Hall and
Dexter's in
guy.
it and some rando.
I've seen him in something, but I can't.
Rando Calrissian.
I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I got to like the 3rd time jump and I fell asleep. And it's nothing wrong with the movie. It's technically an excellent movie.
I
don't know what the story ends at, so I can't speak on that. But the idea is pretty cool, and I just wish I could have stayed awake for it.
I think you hit a certain point where things really have to kind of keep your attention. And I know for me, it's been a big, my phone's been a big distraction.
Yeah, I'm always looking at something. I'll pick it up and play Hearthstone.
Right.
Or
it's just so easy to grab and be like, oh, or if I want to know something. I mean, it's been helpful in that I can educate myself or learn something that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But also, so many times I'm going down the rabbit hole with that stupid fucking thing. Or I'm just sitting there.
Yeah.
Scrolling.
I hope somebody updated something on Facebook because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I barely go to Facebook anymore.
Yeah, I check it probably twice a day now. And that mostly just to see if somebody sent me something on Messenger. Because there's 4 or 5 people that's the only way I keep up with them.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'll show up It's like in the evening, and there'll be like 11 posts from one person, and I'll like all of them because they're actually good content. And I'll be like, oh, I bet I look like a weirdo. When they're spread out across 11 hours, it's not that big a deal. But when you do all your likes at the same time,
it just shows. No, it just shows that you're only scanning it a couple times a day.
Which is probably
it's weird
healthier.
when somebody. I always feel uncomfortable if I'm the first person to like something because they'll be like, "Oh, he's on Facebook all the time." If he caught it 2 minutes after it was posted.
I hate my life less the less time I spend on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm just like, things aren't so bad. I mean, there's some weird shit going on, but it's not so bad.
I'm sick of the advertising now.
Oh yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
You go through and delete it every once in a while.
I tell them I've already bought it. That's my thing. I just tell them I bought it.
And then you get ads for things similar.
Yeah.
But if you delete all of the information they have about you, you get random ads. It's awesome. Like baby carriers next to butt plugs. You're like, whoa. I don't need a pull starter for my dishwasher.
Well, it's like when we went truck shopping for a month afterwards, all I was getting was like dealership ads.
Yeah, you're going to make that giant purchase again right away?
Yeah.
Well, there was another interesting article about the 7-year car loan and how Americans
can't afford vehicles
Can't
anymore.
afford the vehicles. I think that was on the Hoover
It's
Institute.
worse than a fucking mortgage. Like, bring up an amortization calculator and put out a $45,000 car at even 1.99 over 7 years. It's you pay like twice as much as the fucking
car is worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 7 years, fuck, you could get in an accident, total that motherfucker, all the different things that can happen.
You could drive through a laundromat.
Yeah.
Like
after this truck payment, I've got 2 left. And I would kind of like to have a newer model, but it's a 2008. It's still the newest, or the second newest. I bought a new vehicle once, and then 3 years later, traded in for a car I could write a check for. But I bought a Tacoma brand new, and Toyota Tacoma is the top vehicle for maintaining its fucking value. After 3 years, it was only worth $3,000 less than I paid for it brand new.
That's pretty good for a car.
Yeah, because usually if you drive it off the lot, it's
40% depreciation in the first day.
Yeah, we drove our Suburban for 8 years after it was paid for, which I felt was like
that is more than
good.
Acceptable. Yeah, because you probably had a 5-year loan on it.
We had a 6-year and paid it off in 4.
Yeah,
and see, I think that's the secret. You get these long ass loans with these low interest rates. Because, 1.9 is not bad.
No.
And then you pay it really quick. You make an extra payment here when you've got...
When you're flush, you pay extra, but when...
You kick your cocaine habit and you throw all your money in it.
You're just, like, on those 7-year loans, if I was doing 1.99, that's a good percentage rate. You're paying, on $45,000, you're paying another $32,000.
That's only 1.99, and I think currently the best offer they have at the credit unions
ones
is 2.9.
Yeah, and that's for super credit,
and that's brand new.
Yeah,
if you're buying a brand new rig, they'll give you a better interest rate. But if you're buying used, they don't give you as good.
Right?
Because we've got good credit, great credit, and we only got like 4.74
on that truck.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's your bank?
Spokane Teachers Credit Union.
Okay. They've got like the best savings account interest wise, but only up to $500.
Yeah.
Which is kind of defeats the purpose of savings.
I haven't seen a savings account that's worth keeping money in.
There's only
since I was a child.
Only a couple. I've got the City Accelerate, and it's at 2.25 right now.
Wow. That's I would max out my credit card and put it in there right now.
I think our rate's as high as it is because our term is longer.
Yeah.
So the longer the term you go.
Yeah, shorter terms have lower interest rates. I was bummed because a month or 6 weeks ago, Fed cut the rates, and the 15-year mortgages dropped down to 2 3/4. But it was only that way for a week.
Wow.
And now it's back up over 3 again.
Fucking 8 people capitalized on that.
and I'm not looking to refinance, but at the time I was looking to buy into another mortgage, and I wanted to get less than 3.
Yeah, I want to at some point I want to refinance, but I know because we're on a 30 right now, and I want to get onto a 15. We're paying more already, but I don't want to get myself so tight.
Yeah,
on something that I fuck myself.
And
later.
What's your interest rate?
4.1.
Yeah, you could.
I talked about even refining at a 30, and it was gonna be. It would ended up being a wash because the rates were just under 3, just under 4. They're like 3.8 or something like that.
You got to see how much you're going to save with the rate, and then you got to pay the closing costs, which are over $2,000.
Yeah.
What I ended up doing to have money to do whatever's next is I got a home equity line of credit, and you don't have to pay anything like a home equity loan because right out the gate. If you draw money out, they charge you like 1% of what you take out. So if you took 50 G's, what's 1%?
5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like $5,000. Like the fuck would I pay $5,000? So is it 500? 1, 2, 3.
1%.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah.
So yeah, they charge you that's their fee and the money they make
500
before interest. Yeah, I think it is. You are right. It is 500 because so there's $500 plus all of they got the flood certification and appraisal fees and all that. I just opened up a home equity line of credit, which for 5 years I can draw up to 50 G's out of my house. And after 5 years, anything I owe rolls into like a regular mortgage at some percentage rate. So the home equity line of credit, it's at 6.25%, but I don't have to take the money out unless I want it, and it only costs me $200 to open it, as opposed to a few thousand to get that money. So I could have taken that money out, paid extra, and then if I didn't use it, I could have just paid it back. But I just have access to it if I need it.
Yeah.
Finish the kitchen, that kind of thing.
Right.
Are you gonna do
at
that?
the time, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But at the time, it was to put a down payment on another house, so I'm gonna mortgage one house harder so I can buy a different one. What a dumb idea!
It wasn't a bad idea. It was just a bad house.
No, talking to the realtor, she's like, they were asking like $253, and I was prepared to offer $243, and she was like, "Yeah, it's." I'm saying like too much right now. She said, "Yeah, you could get them down to like $246," and I said, "We're still talking $250,000."
Yeah,
and she said, "Don't say it like that."
I know,
but
it's
that's
brutal.
seriously what it is. It's $250,000. And in the first 5 years, I would have paid $5,000 in principal and another 10 or 15 in interest. It's fucking retarded.
Yeah.
And I don't use retarded lightly.
Well, and when you look at it, and it's 360 payments, you look at that and you're like, damn, I don't know if I should do that.
No, it's scary. Well, and I remember being a kid, and you talk about like $250,000. You got to think about like how long it's going to take you to get that.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
like, when I was like crunching numbers, when I was like a little kid, like 15, 16, working like my first jobs at like $5.50 an hour at the time.
Woof.
Yeah, Jesus.
After taxes, you're not actually making money.
No.
Because
you're
you have to
barely
pay for gas
subsisting.
and where you live.
You might as well grow potatoes in your backyard. And I mean, but then you have to have a backyard to grow potatoes in.
Yeah.
There's no way ahead in America today. You're screwed.
Well, accruing more debt is not the way to be, but it's the only thing that
it's the only way to get
pushes.
rich.
A society pushes get debt as fast and often as you can.
They just
go to school for your liberal arts degree and exit school 150 G's in the hole.
Knowing how to make a latte and argue about feminine hygiene.
Good luck paying that off being a barista.
No, I mean, yeah, school. I got scared away from school because my student loans got as high as $9,000 at one point, and I was like, oh, this is.
I wised up after the first year. I was spending my mom's money, and I thought, why am I doing this if I'm really not trying to do it?
Well, and that was the other thing is, I had gone back to school and I was actually serious about it, but at the time that I stopped going to school, I was not putting in the amount of effort that I should have been.
Yeah.
And
but you're too young,
and you're looking at your
do,
FAFSA statements and all that shit, and it's like, this is really scary.
There's women and there's booze and there's loud music and.
Well, and I went to work at Pizza Hut, and all of a sudden you get the you feel this new promise of income.
Yeah.
At the time, I mean, wow. I mean,
it feels like you're boss balling.
$25,000 a year?
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm only 22.
Yeah. Well, when we were 22, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah. No.
2003, we were 23. I made $9,000 that year because I only worked at the radio station part-time. I was drinking and smoking a lot of dope.
Did you make it stretch? Did you stretch that?
Dude, I stretched that like a motherfucker. But rent at my place was $450.
You
plus
had roommates,
utilities,
right?
and I had 2 roommates.
Yeah.
So everything was split into thirds. I was only spending just above $200 a month to exist, and then food. But shit, food was Mountain Dew and Pizza Pockets.
Yeah.
And Grandma took me to Costco like once a month. So I had microwave hamburgers and
I never got that treatment. I guess I ended up eating some of your Costco food, but
I bought my first vacuum at Costco here just in the last year. Before that, my other 2 vacuums were bequeathed by Grandma.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what our first family vacuum was? A Rainbow.
Really?
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, no, that Nicole and I bought when
How much did it cost?
Oh fuck. We still have it. We still
Your
use it.
left testicle.
Yeah, I mean, it was like $1,500
for a fucking vacuum.
For a vacuum. And I remember the pitch. They come in there, they got the water canister, and he shows you, and he's like, we had dogs, so I mean, he's vacuuming up all sorts, and cats, so all sorts of hair and shit, and so he's like, it was a great.
Their demonstration is on point.
Oh yeah, but they go to school for that shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so he's doing this whole thing. He's doing the presentation. I mean, nice. And I think part of the deal was we got like a vacation out of it. We never used the vacation.
Because you won't. That's why they offer it.
Yeah.
Because they know they're never
once
in a blue moon.
It's such a stipulation. There's so many stipulations tied to like when you can use it, how you can use it, and so it gets all caught up in the. And I was working at Pizza Hut at the time, and as a manager, so like all my time was sucked up with that. I was working like 70 hours a week, so there was no fucking way.
Did you get overtime?
They had you in salary, didn't they?
Salary.
Yeah, they'll fist you.
Yeah,
Just
never
fist
ever
you.
go salary.
Just be a driver. Like, at least you can get tips and see.
That was a rough 2 years.
I believe it.
Well, and then we got into the mortgage that we got on the house that we bought up in Moscow was called a 2-to-1 buy down, which was essentially an arm.
Oh yeah.
But they named it differently so that it didn't sound like an arm.
How about the balloon?
Yeah, what it did was we started it at like 3.12 or 3.5 or something like that. Then the next year it goes up to 4.5. Then the next year it locks in at 5.5.
The fuck?
Wow.
Yeah, but that was doing was like every year it's jumping your payment up like another $100.
Yeah.
That $100 is
all interest.
Not hard or not easy to come by when you're on a budget in your 20s. And then my wife broke her leg broke her femur a year into our marriage and a year into being up there. And so we were like
one income
for a while. So, and
Yeah,
it
Rugrats.
really slowed down her because she was graduating college and with a criminal justice degree, and it kind of slowed down her whole career trajectory at the time. She's a teacher now, so it's like completely not the way she was going to go.
But who does go the way they expected to go?
I didn't.
Nobody-
I ended up in the
nobody
fucking
does.
military.
I should have gone military. I'd have been good at that.
Yeah,
I
you've
could
got
follow
the-
orders and I like everything
Not
in its
anymore.
place. What?
Not anymore.
Like whose orders?
Anybody.
There aren't anybody's orders because I'm top dog.
Exactly. That's why you.
But
you
in
couldn't
that
do it anymore.
situation, there is a hierarchy, and
I was actually thinking about that today. Like the hardest part when you get out of the military, people will be like, "Oh, was this hard? Was this hard?" The hardest part is that you end up having to deal with civilians that just won't do what they're told.
you can't make them
And you
do what they're
can't.
told.
There's no reason for them to listen to you, even if you're right. And like I said earlier, I'm right pretty much all the time.
It's only carrot, no stick.
Yeah, and they don't. They have all these things when you're getting out, these transition classes, and they're like yada yada yada. You know, you're going to do this, you're going to do that.
Please
you're gonna
don't
have these
shoot up
job
Las
opportunities.
Vegas.
None of them say like, you're the odd man out here. If there's a problem and it's you being an asshole, it's probably you being an asshole and not everyone else that's the problem. And I don't know why it took me so long to come to that realization. But no one has to do what I say. 0 fucking people have to do what I say.
Right.
For any reason. And it used to be like I had a team of people and I could be like, okay, go, straighten up this or go empty this Connex in the motor pool or whatever. And they would just do it. And you do that for 10 years.
Yeah.
And you're following someone else's order and making other people make that order happen. You're like middle management, I guess. But even at a job, like people don't have to do what you tell them to do at all.
Yeah.
They could get fired, but you're not going to fire your crew if they don't go fucking vacuum or something.
It's even worse when they can't get fired because then they just don't do anything.
Yeah.
They don't even try to skate by because they're not required to.
And there's so many jobs like that now.
Yep.
The government is chock full of them. Everyone should be trying to get a job with the government because that's basically welfare. There are some, and there's like one person in the office who does all of the work. And this is just from my personal experience with federal government civilians. There's one person who loves their job and does all of the work, and there's like 9 people in that office that could just cease to
exist.
Completely go away.
And
the only thing that would damage would be that those salaries would no longer be in the economy.
Yeah.
Oh, they would find somewhere to put that money really quick.
Yeah. But it seems like you could double that one person's pay and fire everybody else in the fucking office.
But no, government's all about bloat. It doesn't matter red or blue. They're all about perpetuating the machine.
Yeah. It's terrible.
One tiny job for 6 people.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get 7 people on this job. Let's see if we can do one more dude.
I can't wait for our corporate overlords.
Or some fucking girl with fake nails.
Some fucking Shadowrun shit where the corporations just run everything. And
God, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
The governments don't really matter because they're just puppets of the corporations. Because
he
corporations
says
know
in
how to
2019 America.
Yeah. No, they really do, but it's not so out in the open. It's still considered.
You want
fantasy.
it to be obvious.
It should be obvious because
obvious.
that's how it is, people. It should be fucking obvious.
There's like 4
Your
people who
corporate
control
overlords.
all of entertainment.
So many people's heads are in the sand. Yeah, I mean, it's like
Everyone's heads in the sand, especially in America, because we have enough. We have a glut of entertainment to waste time on.
Right.
And as long as you're well fed, you're out of the elements, and you have something to occupy your time, you won't resist.
I'm surprised there's crime at all anymore.
Well, that's the funny thing.
There are actual poor people, though.
Well, but even most of them
and poor people commit crimes.
Even
because
most
they
of
don't have
them
anything
have
better
one
to
of
do.
these,
Oh,
and
everybody does.
they're just scrolling.
Theirs are better than mine.
I worked at the cable company, and you can go to the HUD housing and stuff. They'll have a better TV, the highest cable package, the brand new computer, and high-speed internet, and they don't pay for any of it.
Mm-hmm.
They only have ramen in the fridge, though.
Yeah.
And it's 3 days old.
They've got 5 kids from 5 different daddies.
That's probably true.
Because that's where you get your money.
Bunch of fucked out whores. Living off the government teat.
Wish I was born with a vagina. Toxic masculinity!
I was thinking that the other day, too. I was like, my son is going to have to do something with himself if he wants to survive. And my daughter has pretty enough eyes that someday she could just bat them at an old man and wait for him to die.
Yeah, I mean...
She could be all right if she chose to go that way. And, there is no old lady out there that I could woo and take her fortune, because most women don't have fortunes.
Unless they took him from some guy, and then they don't want anything to do with you because you don't have any money.
Right. And the women that have money are the predators that took it from other people. I hate to be that guy.
We're looking at you, MLMs.
Multi-level marketing? Yeah, that's another
Karen!
Scheme. Karen has got some sensey for you!
I'm independently wealthy from sitting on my ass and eating bonbons.
I will also sell you vitamins and troll porn. Oh. Troll porn?
Are we hitting a little too close to home?
No, no.
You've just seen all these people.
Well, I mean, Nicole did a LuLaRoe party one time.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
One time.
They all do.
Literally.
They'll all fall
and
for
it was it was a total letdown for her. I mean, nobody showed up for it.
No, because nobody gives a fuck.
Because everybody's throwing their own.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to be the pampered chef this week. No, you're not. You're not the pampered chef. You're not a chef.
Multi-level marketing would work if there were less levels.
I've met several chefs, and you are not a chef, Karen. You are not a chef. You're a home cook at best.
So when we talk about the takeovers, or just the over-governance of the governance, but it's like the Disney thing. They're buying up everything now.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't bought Sound
which is
Pictures.
Exciting,
right?
Because they're
but
doing
also
so
scary
well
at the same time.
Because all of the little, you've seen all the little snippets, like when Simba smashes his paw and sex comes up in the dust, and Aladdin's on the porch and says, down kitty, take off your clothes. You've seen all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's just going to be more of that.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to control
there's going to be a
sick
dude somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, and you look at the kids programming now.
It's straight up fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Little vampire girls at school teaching little girls to be sassy and wanting to be these little whores, and it's wrong. But it's Disney, so it's okay. But everything is Disney. If it's entertainment, it's Disney.
Yeah.
And
I like it as a almost 40-year-old because that's the content I like to consume, and they're really good at it.
And that's the other thing. Should I complain?
No.
Right.
I'm glad I don't have children, because how do you keep them away from that shit?
You can't. It's impossible.
Don't.
I got to see Iron Man fight Thanos on screen with 2 of the best actors of that generation.
I got to see Captain America wheel Mjolnir.
Right?
It was...
So am I really against this?
Not at all.
I don't think so. As much as I'll rail against it sometimes, I seriously like this stuff, and I'm okay with it.
Like I said, it's exciting and frightening at the same time, because you're just oh,
yeah,
this is amazing.
It's exciting
what an exciting time we're living in right now, but also, where is this headed? Where are we headed?
It's frightening to have.
We're headed into a sunstorm that's gonna fucking wipe our species out.
Please, God, I haven't prayed for a really long time, but that lick of the sun to just crush the planet.
When the sun tongue punches the Earth's fart box, and we all cease to be.
Please let me be out on the route and witness it. I'll look up and be. I will praise your name and be welcome to the pearly gates, and you can kick me back downstairs.
Here's what would be best. What would be best? If you were coming up to my house on your route, and Mars and I came out to talk to you with Chewy Dog.
Dude, check that out.
Look at
Bam!
this. We're all dead.
Lights out.
We're all
scene.
Dead. And scene.
Oh.
Do that one more
What's
time.
No, that was a one
scene.
deal. No, I think that's probably the end of the show. But I think the title for this show is Apocalypse Now? Question mark.
Apocalypse in 2 years. Now-ish. Now-morrow. Yestermorrow day. My favorite time.
All right, awesome listeners. If you like this stuff, is there even a like button to smash?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Always. Yeah.
Smash that like button.
Ring that bell.
It's tspn.fun with the www that's not even required anymore.
Yeah. It's not sanctioned anymore.
Yeah, you just put in tspn.fun and you can find this. You should really watch the clip of when I walked out last week. It's pretty kick-ass.
It is.
We definitely put the fun in that one, didn't we?
We did.
It was a little dark there at the end.
It was a great episode. Definitely check that out. tspn.fun. You can email the show info@tspn.fun. Always, if you want to catch us live and comment on what we're talking about, or even comment after the fact, those videos are out there on YouTube, so you can go kind of watch those. And
can they still
give us your
participate?
two
Call
pits.
in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we have
you
can call our
participate.
Skype name, which is just TSPN. Just search TSPN on Skype.
If you're
and
good
Skype
looking,
into the
we
show.
might even make you a guest. Because,
That's true.
Look at this.
It's the only
beard.
reason I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty.
Rick's been rubbing Chris's leg all show.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's incest, and it'd be wrong.
I've been rubbing this beer all show.
Incest faggotry. Wrong.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.
When Derek might come back.
And I believe Derek returns.
We'll be less toxically masculine.
Oh, yeah.
We'll dial it down. All right. Later.